Okay, so today is assembly day. I'm gonna go ahead and put all this together. I realized that I have one or two small tasks left. These edges look a little bit sharp for my liking, so I'm just gonna run the router, take a little camber on the edge of these to make them look a little nicer. Once that's done, I'm gonna assemble the whole thing and then paint it. So let's get to it. So this time around with the TNG, I figured I'd just measure up the wood to see, how much I need and where I need to cut. This TNG, the groove is right on the edge of this piece, and then if we take a look, we've got 4 pieces that barely line up on this side. Now what I don't really like is that there's only the tongue covering this little piece of wood. So what I'm going to do is push this across a bit so I can cut a decent sliver off this side and hopefully pop it in here. And if it works width-wise, then great, but if it doesn't, I've got plenty of spare pieces to add another TNG into the mix, and then score a line and cut it there, so I can cut this one there as well, and then that gives us some nice clean panels. In trying to put the tongue and groove together, just to put like a little dry fit in, I've noticed that I did a bit of a bad job with routing this groove out. So you can see that there's a strange dip that happens in this particular piece. It happens several times along the long one. I think that's because I had the small jig and then kept having to move the router around a lot, and then I slowly introduced this little step that I need to try and get rid of now because the tongue and groove can't sit nicely in here. So I'm just going to get some chisels and just try to kind of spread that little gap out a little bit to make it easier for the wood to flow through it. Okay, that's the painting done. That's the worst part out of the way anyway. There is now only 2 jobs left. First is to stick the bottom in this thing, and the way that we're going to do that is add some supports on the bottom, and then use a load of the big old pile of scrap that I've got over there to place beams all the way across, just to support the weight of whatever's in here. Because once we finish doing that, we'll add some plastic plastic covering, so pond liner. This is nice thick plastic. We'll put that on the inside here, then that'll be strong enough to deal with any chippings that we want to put in for drainage, and then obviously all the dirt that's going to end up in here for the flowers. Okay, so there's the base all screwed in. I realise now that if we stop down here, this one that I screwed into the end, same with the other side, didn't actually need it at all. I think if I was to do this again, I'd probably carve a nice big corner out of this and allow push this right into the center. The reason I want to leave plenty of big gaps in the bottom is for water drainage, because once I fit the plastic, I'm going to cut a few holes in there to allow some water out. Next job now is to put the pond liner in, staple it all in, and then we are going to be finished with this one.